Heisman Trophy Power Rankings, Pac-12 quarterbacks lead the pack. There are 3 weeks left in college football regular season. The 2023 Heisman Trophy race is coming down the home stretch. After 10 weeks of the college football regular season, a handful of players have made their case for the most prestigious individual award in sports. But no single player has been able to separate himself from the pack. With just 3 weeks left in the regular season, there is limited time for players to make their case. Let's take a look at the players with the best odds to take home the 2023 Heisman Trophy heading into Week 11, according to Caesars Sportsbook. Michael Penix Jr., Washington, plus 150. Washington Huskies quarterback Michael Penix Jr. continues to lead the Heisman hopefuls after defeating USC in Week 10. In a 52-42 victory over the Trojans, Penix Jr. completed 22 of 30 passes for 256 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception, adding 1 score on the ground. The Huskies dominated USC on the ground, rushing for 316 yards. With Washington undefeated and sitting at number 5 in the college football rankings, Penix Jr. is steering a team that has a real shot at the CFP. He leads the nation in passing yards, 3,201, and is third in passing touchdowns, 26. Bo Nix, Oregon, plus 180. Oregon quarterback Bo Nix has climbed up the Heisman conversation. The veteran QB is completing 78.1% of his passes, tops in the nation, and has thrown for 25 touchdowns against just 2 picks. After a last-second loss to Washington in Week 7, the Ducks have ripped off 3 straight wins with a massive matchup with USC in Week 11. We responded well. We showed back up at practice the next week, and we took it personal, Nix said on the rankings release show, referring to the loss to Washington, per ESPN. The continued repetition that we've had, and the growth that we've shown, has put us in a good spot. After USC, Oregon faces Arizona State before taking on number 12 Oregon State in Eugene. Nix and Penix Jr. are on a collision course for a rematch in the Pac-12 championship game. It's the year of the Pac-12 where we've seen a lot of offense. Really 2 impressive quarterbacks that will come out to where they're probably going to play in the Pac-12 title game for a rematch, Caesars Sportsbook college football lead Joey Feasel told SSN 24. If everything goes to plan, there's nothing catastrophic that happens the next 3 weeks. I think we're going to see the Heisman Trophy candidate crowned essentially after the Pac-12 title game. J.J. McCarthy, Michigan, plus 800. The Wolverines continue to roll. Despite accusations of sign stealing swirling around the program with rumors of potential discipline from the Big Ten on the horizon, Michigan has continued to chug along. J.J. McCarthy, who was tied with Penix Jr. at the top of the Heisman race heading into Week 9, threw for 355 yards in a 41-13 romp over Purdue in Week 10. McCarthy would have ample opportunity to make his case for the Heisman as the Wolverines travel to Happy Valley to take on number 10 Penn State in Week 11 before facing Michigan on November 25th. He certainly has an opportunity this week, Feasel said. There's been a lot of talk of Michigan hasn't played anybody. It's a weak schedule. He hasn't proved anything. If he goes out and he has an impressive win against Penn State this weekend, certainly he's in the mix. Jordan Travis, Florida State, plus 900. The Seminoles remain in the 4th spot in the college football playoff rankings with a remaining schedule that will give Florida State a real opportunity to go undefeated. Against Pittsburgh, Jordan Travis threw for a season-high 360 yards without the services of star wide receiver Keon Coleman, who was out with an injury. On the year, Travis has thrown for 19 touchdowns and just 2 interceptions, adding 7 scores on the ground. Carson Beck, Georgia, plus 1,400. Georgia continues to roll on, and junior QB Carson Beck continues to play well. Against Missouri on Saturday, Beck threw for 254 yards and 2 touchdowns as the Bulldogs won their 26th consecutive game. The Georgia offense is 6th in the country in yards per game, 493, and is averaging 39.3 points per game. Beck will be in primetime on Saturday as Georgia welcomes number 9 Ole Miss to Sanford Stadium for a 7 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff. Marvin Harrison Jr., Ohio State, plus 1,600. Ohio State wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. may have only caught 4 passes in Week 10 against Rutgers, but half of them were for touchdowns. Harrison is arguably the best player in college football, but he has one thing standing in his way. He's not a quarterback.